So flat feet aren't bad in and of themselves, but they can be associated with mobility restrictions, not just in the foot, but through the rest of the body. And that's because the feet flatten when your body is putting a lot of force into the ground. This happens when we shift our weight forward to do so. This can be one reason why when you lift your foot off the ground, some of your arch comes back. So if you really want to fix flat feet, it's not strengthening the foot muscles, it's getting you to shift your weight backwards. I'm gonna show you a series of exercises that does just that, and a lot of times that does lead to improvements in arch height. Check this, lie down flat on the ground. Is your lower back touching the ground? Or do you have such a massive back arch that you could slide a Hot Wheels car underneath it? If so, that indicates that forward weight shift. Start with this exercise because you're gonna need it to help bring your hips back, which will improve arch height. Line your back with your hips at a 90-degree angle. Your feet will be gently pressing together and your knees will be way apart. Pressing the foot in this manner will help get some of the arch back. Your upper pelvis should be touching the ground. If it doesn't, try straightening the knees until you feel that area heavy onto the ground. Now, if your lower back is still arched, don't sweat it. I'm gonna show you how to fix that next. Your arms will reach straight up to the ceiling. Take a 5 to 10 second quiet inhale through the nose. Exhale for the same amount of time. As you exhale, you'll notice that your lower back flattens into the ground. Try to maintain that on the subsequent inhale. Don't you dare arch during, or my cat's gonna be sad. And after doing that movement, you might notice that you can lie with your lower back flatter on the ground. This is an important indicator to show that you can shift your weight backwards, which improves the arch height. But that doesn't mean that you can do it in standing, because once you're standing, you're gonna start putting that force back into the ground. You need to learn how to shift your weight backward in standing. This next exercise will help you do that. And it works great if you have shoes, and it works even better with a ramp. Rest your upper pelvis against the wall with your feet 1.5 to 2 foot lengths out in front of you. Keep the feet flat. When you're this far away from the wall, you might notice that your foot has a bigger arch compared to normal. If that's the case, you've nailed it. If it's not, then I would strongly encourage you to do this with shoes on and ideally with a ramp. As I said before, your upper pelvis should be touching the wall. If it's not, bend your knees slightly until it does. Once you've gotten it, squat down even further. You want to be between a quarter depth all the way to just above parallel. Make sure the feet stay flat during. If your heels lift up, you've gone too far, kid. Elbows out in front of you. Take a 5 to 10 second nasal inhale. Do the same 5 to 10 second exhale through the mouth. As you're exhaling, you want to reach the elbows forward and use your feet to push your lower back flush into the wall. Make sure that you keep heel contact as you do this. If you get it right, you'll notice that your lower back is flush into the wall along with your upper pelvis. Maintain this pressure for the course of the exercise. And if you find that that's too easy, you can rep this out by sliding up and down the wall. Inhale on the way down with the same slow pace. Exhale on the way up. You now might be able to get that weight shift and foot arch on point with that move, but that doesn't mean that you can keep it once you're off the wall. If you really want to improve flat feet, you have to learn how to keep this weight shift and foot positioning when you're out and about moving. Backward steps work great for this if you can do it with the specific technique that I'm about to show you. Start in a quarter squat with your feet flat. Step backward, making sure that your foot stays pointing forward. A common mistake people make is they will spin the foot outward. If you notice you're toeing out, your stride is too long. Take shorter steps. As you step back, make sure to contact from toe to heel. This is how we keep the arch height. It'll look like this when you take a step. Your arm should be moving in the opposite direction of the foot that's stepping back. So if your left foot's stepping back, your left arm should be moving forward. Once your foot is flat on the ground, step back with the opposite foot. This is the key piece though to keeping the arch. Make sure that your stationary foot stays flat. What you'll notice is as you take that backward step, your arch will start to come back. But a lot of times people make the mistake of lifting the foot up and locking the knee. If you do this, you're not gonna get them arch height gains. As you get better at this movement, progress how long your stride is. Just make sure that you keep the foot points. And once you've nailed that, now is the time to work on getting these foot points when you move forward. At this point, the goal is to be able to move forward and have a normal amount of flattening without having it pancake all the way down. To isolate this action, keep one foot flat and work on a backward step and a forward step, alternating between these two positions. Make sure to encourage the arm swing that we talked about earlier so you can maximize the movement improvements throughout the body. Now, it's not uncommon for those with flat feet to also have limitations in their hip mobility, specifically external rotation. I would check out this video right here so you can learn how to best address that.